I wanted to talk today about an experience I had yesterday at a men's group that I go to on a Monday night. And there was the typical format is that we all take it in turns. We all sit in this big circle and we take it in turns to answer various questions about how the week went. And there's an opportunity at the end to kind of just get something off your chest that you may not have mentioned before. And there was this one guy in particular that mentioned something, and I could really relate to this. And it's one of those things that when you've overcome a particular obstacle or problem in your life, it's difficult to know in hindsight that you've done it, because it is just now your lived experience. You don't spend the day ever remembering how you used to be. This is just how your norm is. And for this guy in particular, I could tell he was in so much pain with this problem that was affecting him and this particular mentality that he had. And I realised that I had a lot of advice to give this guy. I had a lot of things to say, and the reason I did is because I had been in his exact shoes and I knew exactly how he was feeling. So what was said was that he believed, so rewinding back to COVID, he had a job. He works in science, but more on the academic side, so something about writing papers. It's not a world that I particularly understand, but his job was to write scientific papers essentially. And I think he used to be office based, and then the pandemic happened and he had to switch to working from home, which most of us did during that time. And he realised during that time that he really didn't enjoy his job, and he found it incredibly difficult to do the day-to-day stuff, and so he quit. And he didn't really go into what had happened between COVID and now, but he is 31 years old, and he is now unemployed and in this position where he is looking for work. And he alluded to the fact that there was this one single job or thing that he could do with his life, and when he reached that point, he would be happy. And it struck me not only that this is exactly the same way that I used to think, but also just how fucking dangerous it is thinking that. He was really disappointed because he said that he had followed exactly what the path that society says will make us successful, right? So that's going to school, it's getting good grades, it's going to university, it's finding a girlfriend, it's settling down into a career and following that path, following the Joneses. And he was angry because he had followed those steps, and now he was at this position in his life where he had done exactly what he was told to do and felt really unhappy. And he was almost certain that if he had followed this path, that he would have been happy by now, because he did exactly as he was told to. And you could see the pain in his face, the pain of betrayal, that he felt like society had lied to him, had promised him something that never came to be. And he didn't know which way to turn. And so he had this idea still that, okay, I haven't followed exactly what society's told me to do, told me that the thing that would make me happy. So therefore, there must be something else out there that is going to make me happy. And this is exactly how I used to think. I used to be so convinced that if I found the right person, exactly the right person to settle down with, if I found the right career, if I found the right workout routine, the right diet, once I had all those things in place, then I would be happy. And for me, it got to the extent that I would have a dream board, a vision board that I would look at every single morning, and when I looked at that board, I would always think to myself, when I have all those things, I will be happy. And the most fucked up thing about that level of thinking, that line of thinking, is that you will never be happy. And I didn't know how to tell this to him in a digestible way, because you can't just tell someone, look, the way you're thinking is fucked up, and if you continue thinking like that, you're going to be unhappy. And this is a process you go through if you ever do coaching, is that you have somebody that just asks you the right questions at the right time. And so I asked him, what is it you think that is going to make you happy? And he answered this and he answered that, and I said, but you thought that this thing was going to make you happy, and it never did. And I think it started to dawn on him that maybe there wasn't one answer to that question. And the reason why this lie that society feeds us, that if we do everything right, that we will end up happy, is because it's a kind of one size fits all. If you do X, Y, Z, then you will get this result. And everybody is so individual that there is no one thing that makes every single person happy. It's impossible. Everybody has different needs, different desires. And yeah, you can't have a one-size-fits-all solution to a happy life. It doesn't work like that. And there is a secret to this. There is something that will make you happy, or at least make you feel purposeful and fulfilled. And this is what I've figured out over the years. And it's a simple quote that you've probably heard before, and it's a bit cliche, but what I find with all cliches is the reason they are cliches is because they're true. And that cliche is, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. I've spent a lot of time learning as much as I can about anything that I find interesting, and dopamine is one of those things I find really fascinating, and I've started looking into it a lot more since I had a diagnosis for ADHD. Where people go wrong is that they think that dopamine is a feel-good hormone that is released when we complete something, when we complete our goals. It's our body's way of rewarding us for doing something. And that's not true. What dopamine actually is a motivation hormone. When our bodies are flooded with dopamine, we have motivation to do things. And this is a small but absolutely crucial difference, is that we don't find happiness, fulfillment, contentment, purpose, whatever you want to call it, from achieving our goals. We find those things from the process of achieving them. I'm going to the gym at the moment. I have been for a month now, and I've been running regularly, and I'm feeling really good. And my old self would have said to me, when I have gained 5 pounds of muscle, when I've lost X amount of fat, when I'm able to run 5 kilometers in under 20 minutes, then I will be a certain way and I'll be happy. And now the difference is that I feel great, and I feel great because I am getting better, not because I am better. And that is such a crucial difference, that it's such a simple thing that so many guys need to understand, is that it is not about achieving your goals. It is not about the achievement of your goals, I should say. It is about the pursuit of your goals. And so it's a simple formula. It's just setting goals that you think may have a positive effect on you, that you think there's a chance might make you feel good about what you're doing or happier in some way. And then doing what is necessary to start achieving those things. And if you have a really clear goal in mind, you don't need to get to that goal to start feeling happier. You just need to start walking towards it. And that is happiness. That is everything that you need. When I started thinking like this, it just radically transformed how I was feeling. I'm always someone that has been very much stuck in my head, but this guy in particular, he took it to a whole new level. And you could see the pain in his face and in his body for the amount of effort he has had to put into thinking about why he isn't happy and what he could do next that might make him happy. And thinking so hard, you know, the difficulty and the stress it puts you under, thinking that you are born into this world with one singular purpose, and if you don't find that thing, then it is your sole purpose to find it. And if you don't find it, you'll never be happy. Like, it's something that I used to think all the time, but since I've moved on from that level of thinking, I'd almost forgot. And seeing this guy was just a reminder that, fucking hell, it's such a painful way of existing. The reality is that there is not one single thing that will make you the happiest. It is all on a scale. Yes, there may be one career out there that if you did it would be the best career for you, but it is about the process of finding that career. And you know, I said to him that, and I think he was quite relieved, that I've never really known what I wanted to do for a living, but I've always had an inkling of what I felt was right. And when I've trusted my gut and gone with that, I have always been happy, and I have always learnt something as a result, and that has helped better guide me towards my next step. And I have done a lot of jobs. I started working on a building site. I have been a carer. I have worked in recruitment. I have run a window cleaning business. I run a sports nutrition company for a while. I worked for a hot air balloon company, like helping land and take off. I've worked in sales. Recently, I worked in oil and gas, inspecting pipelines. I have done so much shit, and I used to panic that my CV was such a mess, but the reality is that every single one of those jobs I've ever had has given me a clear list of the things that I liked and the things I disliked. And the more information that you have, the more data points you can collect, the better an idea of what your next steps might be. And you may never find that ultimate purpose, but like I say, it's about the journey. And now I feel really good because I am trusting my intuition. I'm doing the things that feel right to me, and everything else is falling into place. I'm not taking anyone's advice. I'm not asking for permission to do things. I'm just doing what I feel is right. And it is having a knock-on effect for all the rest of my life. You know, I'm more motivated to be healthy. I'm making the right diet choices. I'm finding a lot more ease with relationships. I'm finding it much easier to just socialise and talk to people and be myself and to drop that mask. And it's all because I am just following my natural intuition. So, yeah, I felt a lot of pain when I saw that guy, and I saw how much pain he was in. And the advice I gave to him was that he cannot believe that there is one singular purpose, and that he will never ever figure out what his purpose is without taking some kind of action towards his intuition. And I think this is the biggest thing. And then also realizing that once you've taken that step, that it is not permanent. Once you have an idea about where you want to go and you try that thing, and maybe you figure out that that thing is not for you, you can always change. You can always do something else. And that's what I found. I was so convinced not so long ago that I wanted to do this manual hands-on job and work with guys, and I did that for a while and I fucking hated it. And but the beauty was, I just quit. I just quit knowing that there are a million other directions that I can go in, and there are lots of other jobs that I can take, even as a temporary measure. It's like Christmas coming up. I don't know what I'm doing for work. I don't know what I'm doing for career, but the postal service are always looking for more people over this time of year. So I'm probably going to be a postman for a while. And I look back on this and think, fuck, like, if I ever get to the point where I eventually have grandkids, I can proudly tell them all the different things that I did with my life, and hopefully teach them that it's okay to just move around and follow your intuition. And I think the cause of so much suffering is thinking that there is one singular purpose that is going to bring us happiness, because it just isn't true. And it's nailed into us by society, by the people around us that have the best intentions for us. But listen, don't take advice from people that don't have the things that you want. You know, you'll always find very corporate, successful people tell you that you need to knuckle down, get an education, find a career, and that's what worked for them. But and if that's what you want, if the life that they have is what you want, not just the things that they have, but the way that they behave, the way that they are they happy, are they sad? Bear in mind that if you take advice from someone, you are going to, and you're going to follow their life path exactly, then you are going to get exactly the same results as them. And I know a lot of very wealthy and miserable people, and I know a lot of people that struggle to get by financially, they're incredibly happy. But then I also know a few people that have followed their intuition, followed their gut, have found a career path that just lights them up. And because they're so motivated to do that thing, that that the financial rewards just come as a natural result of that. So not only are they successful, but they're also happy too. There isn't rich and miserable or poor and happy. Those two things, they're not the only extremes. There is a life that you can live that's straight down the middle. So, yeah, if you find yourself in that position, in that mentality that there is this one ultimate purpose for you, I'm here to tell you that it's not true. And I hope that you find that is a massive relief. All you really need to do is, like I said in a previous video, is just don't worry about finding your purpose. Just follow your curiosities. Anything that you think might be interesting, even mildly, anything you're mildly interested in, go and do that thing. You don't have to make a career out of it. Maybe it could just be a hobby. Maybe it's a case of finding a tutorial on YouTube of how to do a certain thing. Whatever it is, just follow your curiosities. And the more you can do that, the more data points you're going to have. And the more data points you have, the easier it is to make an accurate decision and to make goals that are more correctly aligned with who you are as a person. So yeah, hopefully you found that video helpful. I know I was able to help that guy last night, and I really hope he runs with that information and doesn't get too stuck in his own head. Yeah, if you like the way I say and do things, then you can sign up to the newsletter in the link below. I am currently running my own coaching sessions as well, so if you're interested in speaking with me directly, then you can also apply for coaching with the link in the description. And I'm going for a run now, and I will see you in the next video.